Everybody, welcome back to another video. And on today's video, we will be talking about Royal Caribbean, or Caribbean, however you want to pronounce it. And that's coming up right after this. All right, hey everyone, welcome back to Traveling with Justin. I am Justin, and yes, I am continuing my series on the cruise ships that I have been on. And yes, I have been on Royal Caribbean. And let's talk about a little bit about what Royal is all about. I have some notes right here, so let's get to it. In 1968, Royal Caribbean, or Caribbean, however you want to pronounce it. So they were formed by three different Norwegian shipping companies, and they are Anders Williamson and Company, I.M. Sagen Company, and Gottis Larsen. And they had three ships. They had the Song of Norway, Nordic Prince, and Sun Viking. So they used those three ships up until about 1982, when they decided to lengthen the Song and the Prince ships. And they renamed the Song of Norway to the Song of America. And that was released in 1982. They had extended it, and that became the third largest cruise ship in the world, behind Queen Elizabeth II, Sun Viking, and then the Song of America. They used those three ships for a while, and in 1986, and they did some restructuring for the company, and they purchased a second island in the Caribbean, or Caribbean, however you want to pronounce it, to host their Perfect Day at Coco Cay, and they launched a new ship called Sovereign of the Seas. In 1993, they did their IPO. That's the initial public offering. And then after that, they quickly expanded. So they bought up a Celebrity Cruise Line, which was a Greek cruise line at the time. And then they quickly rebranded to Royal Caribbean International. As of today, October the 4th, it was at $88.10. So they're trading pretty good. They're the highest among all cruise companies. I think Carnival was in the high 13s, maybe low 14s. So yeah, it's up there, really super high. Let's get into their fleet. They have the most ships out of any cruise line there is. So let's go through them. So each of these ships I'm gonna read end in of the seas. So like for instance, in their Vision class, we have the Garnier of the Seas. So I'm just gonna say their first name, you can catch on, right? And that was built in 1996. Then we have Rhapsody, 1997. Enchantment, 1997. And Vision, 1998. Yep, 1998. The Voyager class. So they've gone from a gross ton weight of 78,717 pounds to the Voyager class, which has a gross tonnage weight of 138,194 pounds, or tons, I guess. That Voyager class has the following ships in it: Voyager, Explorer, Adventure, Navigator, and Mariner. And they were built in 1999, 2000, 2001, 2002, and 2003. So Royal Caribbean is really pushing out the ships so far since 1996. I mean, there's like one every year. So now we're moving into the Radiance class, which, by the way, the gross tonnage went down from 139 gross tons to 90,090 gross tons for this Radiance class. And that is called the Radiance 2001, Brilliance 2002, Serenade 2003, and Jewel 2004. Now they went back to the Freedom class. So they were up high with the gross tonnage of 139,000 gross tonnage, about approximately. Then they went back down to 90 gross tons. Now the Freedom class went back up to 156 gross tons. So 156,271 gross tonnage. And that included the Freedom of the Seas, Liberty, and Independence. And that was 2006, 2007, and 2008. Now, they decided to go even bigger with the next class. It's the Oasis class. And this gross tonnage comes out to be 226,838 gross tonnage. So that's a pretty big increase in what they've been doing. I mean, yeah, by like 100,000 was the last time. The highest was 139,000 for the Voyager class. So the Oasis class, they were the biggest. The Oasis was the biggest ship in the world when it debuted in 2009. Then the Allure came along in 2010, and that became the longest ship because it beat the Oasis by about a half inch. Harmony of the Seas came along, Symphony, and then Wonder. Wonder of the Seas right now is the largest cruise ship in the world. And that is at the gross tonnage of 2,036,857. And so the ships were put out in 2009, the Oasis. Allure was 2010. Harmony was 2016. Symphony was 2018. And Wonder of the Seas was put out last year in 2022. Now, that's not going to be... Now, those are the largest ships right now. Then they decided to put out the Quantum class. And that was the Quantum, the Anthem, the Ovation, the Spectrum, and the Odyssey. And they were 2014, 2015, 16, 19, and 2021. So, they went from the 236,000 gross tonnage, that's how much the Wonder of the Seas was, down to 167,704 gross tons for the Odyssey of the Seas. That was 2021. Now, they have one more class that they just introduced, which will be out in January of 2024, and that is the Icon class. Now, the Icon of the Seas will debut in January, and that is 250,800 gross tons. That's how big that is. And it says that it will hold up to 10,000 people. I think that's crew and passengers. Maybe that's just passengers. I'm not sure. I would have to double check that because the numbers change all the time. But my question is, 10,000 people, would you go on that ship? I mean, it's got a lot of stuff to do, but would you go on that ship with 10,000 other people? I don't know. I don't know. I might try it once, but I'd rather go on like Wonder or Freedom of the Seas or Brilliance of the Seas or the Mariner of the Seas. You know, I'd rather do one of those ships because they're just a little bit smaller, but they still have a lot of amenities on the ships. All right, and so now in 2025, another ship is going to come out, and that's called the Utopia of the Seas, with a gross tonnage of about 200,000, and that's under the Oasis class. So it will join the Oasis, Allure, Harmony, Sympathy, and Wonder in that category. But the Icon is going to come out, and it's going to be one of the biggest ships out there. So they stop in a lot of ports around the world. We have international ports they stop at, North America ports, you know, Miami, Fort Lauderdale, Port Canaveral. They actually did the west coast of the United States of America for a while, and then they pulled out the cruise ships and stopped doing cruises from Los Angeles year-round because they said they weren't making money. They still did Alaska, but they pulled out, and so Carnival was the only one doing the West Coast cruises at the time. I think there might have been a couple others, but I only know about Carnival because I went on a couple cruises with Carnival out of Long Beach. Royal Caribbean decided to come back to the West Coast, and now Navigator of the Seas is now doing Mexican Riviera cruises year-round out of Los Angeles. So they came back to this market right here. Now they thought, you know, we'll go somewhere else. But then they've seen how many people were going to the Mexican Riviera, and they decided to come back. And so, yeah, Royal Caribbean goes worldwide. They've got some of the biggest ships out there, and they are willing to put it all on the line, especially with this Icon of the Seas that's coming out. I mean, 10,000 people. That is one big ship. Actually, Wonder of the Seas was the first ship, the record-breaking ship, a cruise ship, not a military ship, a cruise ship that went from Fort Lauderdale across the Atlantic to Europe with, I think it was 8,000 people on it. But that was not military. Military World War II, they had, you know, a ton of people on a ship trying to get them over to Europe to fight the war. But that is Royal Caribbean. Royal Caribbean started out with 3 ships, and now they have 26 ships, soon to be 27. And then they'll be, in 2025, there'll be 28, unless they make other plans right now. But that is Royal Caribbean for you. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. I would appreciate it. All right, guys, until the next video, I will see you in the next one. And remember, cruise on and be happy.